Okay, hello and welcome to my next narrated battle against shadoworganoid from the Pokémon forums. Now, I've been helping this guy out with his team for a reasonable while now, so it's interesting to see how he puts my knowledge into practice, and I wanted to show him that his Suicune is not a god like he seems to think it is sometimes. Now, Porygon Z is pretty obviously choice scarfed, and because it has a special attack boost, I need to go to Snorlax to take the hit. It doesn't do too much with Dark Pulse even with that boost, so that's fine. And Body Slam actually does more damage than I expected it to, to such a physical defensive Suicune. Now, I knew he had Calm Mind, Surf and Ice Beam, so I wanted to know what his last move was, and I went to Jirachi in case he Calm Minded, but he actually roared, so there's the last move, and my bad luck sends me to Gliscor, so he gets a free Calm Mind as I go to my Choice Band Scizor, and I expected a little bit too much of Scizor here. I'm used to having close combat, with a Choice Band taking out Suicune very easily, 2 shots. But I expected too much from U-turn, and it actually didn't do that much. But I did get a crit, so it actually did more than half, in fact up to about 65-ish%. And Scizor is in a bit of a bad state now, but at least it can still be useful later. Now, Jirachi's Thunderbolt doesn't kill because he has +1 special defense, but even with his boosted special attack, Surf doesn't do much damage at all. That's 140. I think with leftovers that's probably just a 4-hit KO, which is great, that's without Calm Mind or anything. Now, I decide not to overpredict and do Wish or Calm Mind, I was tempted, but if he switched in Suicune later, it might be a bit annoying, it might not have too much health left, but I still don't want him to have that switch. And Porygon really isn't doing too much to Jirachi, Jirachi resists every move on, or is at least neutral to every move on Porygon Z's set, so it doesn't do much at all, and with my Wish and Calm Mind here, then I set up quite easily. But unfortunately I kind of fear a Choice Band Earthquake from Metagross here, and I decide not to stay in. I go to Gliscor kind of hoping for that Choice Band Earthquake, but it actually turns out to Stealth Rock. Now that's quite cool, because I haven't seen a lead based Metagross, used in the middle of a game ever. He went to Latias as I Stealth Rocked as well, both of us have managed to get the rocks up mid game, which is fairly decent. And I go to Snorlax because Snorlax is the best thing I have on Latias, and Surf does nothing. It's less than 80 damage, is really nothing to Snorlax's 500 hit points. Metagross takes the Body Slam as if it was nothing though, and I don't get a paralysis, so that's in a pretty bad shape. I go back to Gliscor because I'm thinking that of Meteor Mash not doing too much to it, or at least enough that I can defend against it, and it actually Brick Breaks. Now, I'm not a fan of Brick Break on Gliscor, Brick Break on Metagross, so that isn't a good move to me, but oh well. He explodes as I switch to Scizor, which actually doesn't bother me, because although Scizor would have been useful with Quick Attack or Bullet Punch, it was at less than half health, so it wasn't that useful. And it gets rid of Metagross. Now, I go to Azelf because Azelf is the best thing I tend to have on the double kill, and I overpredict and don't Psychic on Infernape because I didn't think it was stupid enough to stay in, but it was, so oh well. You also seen the Jacoba Berry there, which is a very poor item in my opinion. It really didn't do much damage even when it hit me, and it giving up Life Orb on a mixed or even, attacking Infernape is not a good price to pay. Now, with you seeing Flare Blitz and Thunder Punch there, it's a physical attacking Infernape, but even that isn't enough to break Vaporeon. This is why Vaporeon is a counter to almost all Infernape. It would take a Swords Dance, I think probably Life Orb as well, close combat to take out Vaporeon from here, but then if you had that, Azelf will come and revenge you later. Now, he gets close combat in as well, and I decide to Surf this time because Surf is just going to kill it and get rid of the thing before it does anything to me later. Close combat is actually stronger than Thunder Punch, by the way, even when it's super effective, just in case you didn't know that. Now Porygon Z comes in and I protect to see what it's going to do because I know it's a choice locked Porygon, and it goes for Tri Attack. So I did a damage calculation on this, and I found out that I could survive it fairly easily, so I decided to Wish Protect. But unfortunately my damage calculation wasn't conclusive. I didn't add stab into the equation, so I was expecting it to do a max of about 111 damage. To see it do about 160, as you can imagine, was a little bit of a shock, and the only thing I could think of at the time was choice specs. And because I didn't notice that I forgot about stab, that was enough to convince me it was a specs Porygon and not a Scarf one. Unfortunately, the hack bites me in the ass this time, and payback for the crit earlier on, he froze me with that, as you've seen. And of course my luck is poor enough that I don't get out of it before I get killed. I try a Wish, I try a Protect, and it just doesn't work. And I still thought it was the specs Porygon, because I thought my damage calculation was that it was fine, and everything was good. But missing that stupid no stab meant that my Azelf died needlessly. It was such a waste. I could have done with that later on as well. But never mind, Jirachi comes in because it's choice lock to try attack. I don't know why he stayed in. He really should have just switched to Latias and Carmine stalled as well as I did. But he didn't, and even with, stab in its favour, because it doesn't have download in its favour, it doesn't threaten me at all, and I can Carmine on this move and basically take nothing from it now. I think I take about 50 damage from this try attack coming. That's how low the damage it came to. But his lucky streak continues with try attack, and he burns me with it as well. So that cuts Jirachi's survivability a little bit, more than I'd have liked. As a result, instead of Carmining this move or Flash Cannoning, I wished. So as Latias came in, I had +2 Carmine and a Wish, which was quite nice. I went for a third Carmine here because I was thinking, even though it didn't have the Life Orb, I was thinking it was probably somewhat offensive, and it had Carmined, so that was fairly interesting. It's a non-leftovers Carmined thing, but he had +1 and he switched out. That was probably the worst move he could have done at that time, because I was thinking I might as well attack this thing now and try and get some damage on it so it doesn't set up for free. And Flash Cannon just completely wrecks Salamence on the switch in. There was absolutely no hope of surviving that whatsoever, and it's great because that takes down something that could be very dangerous if you let it set up. And here is the next misplay. Porygon's Edge should never have been the first thing to come in here, and it definitely should not have been Ice Beaming. I was never going to switch, I couldn't be frozen because I'm already burned, and not even a crit would have done much damage. I get my Wish, and basically I decided a fourth Carmine would be better than Flash Cannon because I didn't expect Latias to switch in now for some obscure reason. I think if I'd have actually hit it with Flash Cannon it would have killed it in one shot, but never mind. Thanks to the difference in Carmine counts, I have double the special attack that what he has as special defense bursts, so I almost kill him outright with that Flash Cannon. And even though he roosts here, because he doesn't have leftovers, he can't hope to survive this move here. He doesn't have enough health left to take this second Flash Cannon, and he falls despite his best efforts. So basically Jirachi has completely cleaned this game out. He obviously has to go to Porygon Z now because that's the last Pokemon he has, and he goes with Dark Pulse, and it doesn't flinch, it doesn't crit, so he gets completely wasted by Flash Cannon, and that ends the game. It was a 3-0 finish, no thanks to my stupid misplays with Azelf. Good game, Shadow. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, whatever. Take care.